Can my South African-born child register for Matric with her passport if I am a ZEP holder? The short answer? Yes. Her passport will be sufficient to register for Matric. The whole question. I am a ZEP holder with a South African-born child who needs to register for Matric. I am still waiting for my study permit to be issued, so I can't apply for hers yet. Can she register using her passport? The long answer, yes. Her passport will be sufficient to register for Matric, while you wait for your permit to come through. In 2023, the courts confirmed that children of ZEP holders must be allowed to register for school. This was after some school had refused to register several children of ZEP holders. The court order obliged the schools to register the children within 10 days. The judgment was based on the Constitutional Court finding in 2011 that Section 29(1)(a) of the Constitution confers the right to basic education on every child living in South Africa, whether a citizen or not. The National Employers Association of South Africa reported that on 1 December 2023, the Minister of Home Affairs issued the following directives. The validity of the original ZEPs will be extended until 29 November 2024. Original ZEP holders who have already applied for waivers and for other mainstream visas do not have to apply for the new exemption permits. Holders of the original ZEPs, as well as the new exemption permits, cannot apply for permanent residency or citizenship. Holders of the original ZEPs can apply for waivers and applicable mainstream visas, and are advised to do so urgently. And if an original ZEP holder has applied for a waiver and a mainstream visa, he/she will be allowed to remain and be employed in South Africa until they receive the outcome of their applications. Samigration reported in December 2023 that current ZEPs would automatically renew till 29 November 2024. But in the period leading up to November 2024, a ZEP holder should apply to renew the permit until 29 November 2025. As you probably know, the Minister of Home Affairs has applied to appeal to the Constitutional Court against the finding of the Pretoria High Court and the Supreme Court of Appeal that his decision to terminate the ZEP had been unlawful and that he had a year to reconsider and make proposals that consulted those affected and complied with the law. There is no news yet from the Concourt. Samigration gave the following advice on 4 December 2023 about whether a ZEP holder was obliged to apply for the new ZEP permit if they had a pending waiver or mainstream application. No, there is no need to apply for the new exemption if you have a pending waiver or mainstream visa application. The minister has exempted individuals with these applications from the requirement to apply for the new exemption. So, I think that it should not be a how can I get my ID if my parent has multiple IDs? The short answer? Following a recent court ruling about blocked IDs, you should be able to apply for an ID the normal way. Home Affairs officials may not be aware of this, so perhaps tell them about the judgment. The whole question. My parent has multiple ID numbers, so Home Affairs won't let me make my own ID card. I am 19 now. What can we do? The long answer? In 2019, Home Affairs, DHA, required the following documents from a person who wanted to erase multiple IDs: an originally issued birth certificate, a clinic card or maternity certificate, copies of both parents' IDs. In 2012, the DHA explained to Parliament that during apartheid, people who carried reference books, passes, were allocated ID numbers from a pre-printed list, without their knowledge. After apartheid, when people applied for IDs, they did not know that they had already been given ID numbers from the pre-printed list, and so the multiple or duplicate ID problem arose. But in December 2020, the Minister of Home Affairs told Parliament that there were over 800,000 cases of blocked IDs due to multiple IDs, or to duplicate IDs. All the ID numbers of South African citizens and permanent residents are listed in the National Population Register, which the DHA must maintain in good order. When the DHA suspected an ID of being fraudulent or there were multiple or duplicate IDs, the DHA would put a marker against this ID, indicating that it must be investigated. But as soon as this ID was marked, it would be blocked immediately. Before it was investigated, the DHA says that it must block multiple or duplicate IDs while the matter is under investigation, to protect the country against foreigners fraudulently claiming benefits due only to citizens. The person holding the ID would not be informed that their ID was blocked or that it was under investigation. They would simply find out when they tried to access health care, open a bank account, renew a driver's license, or apply for a social grant. They could not help their minor children, under 18 years old, to apply for an ID. They were also not given any opportunity to make representations to the DHA before the ID was blocked. It was a unilateral decision taken by DHA officials, and investigations could drag on for years while the person's ID continued to be blocked. Lawyers for Human Rights and LegalWise took the DHA to the High Court in January 2024, saying that this blocking of a person's ID without informing them or giving them the opportunity to make representations was unconstitutional. Section 33 of the Constitution says that everyone has the right to administrative action that is lawful, reasonable, and procedurally fair, and everyone whose rights have been adversely affected by administrative action has the right to be given written reasons.